Hey guys, your friendly neighborhood natty here. My name is Matthew. If you're new here, I make videos on martial arts and video games. But today we're actually doing a range test experience with the CZ P-07. Now this video was requested by a subscriber. He had seen the CZ P-07 unboxing and he was looking forward to the range video. Now, a couple of disclaimers. I actually haven't been to the range in quite a few months, mostly because of the price of ammo. I guess I'm very stubborn and I just thought that I would wait until it became normal, but it looks like this is the new normal. Basically double the price than it should be. Same thing we saw with the 22, you know, it should be like what? 6 cents and now it's like 10, 11 cents. And I think 9mm should be like maybe like 18, 17 cents. But of course now it's going for double, 40 cents. Side note though, I would like to say that the reason I bought this gun was because it came with a rebate, $50 rebate that you could get for buying a new CZ P-07, P-09 and P-10 I believe. And the rebate did come through. It actually came by super fast. It was a preloaded MasterCard. It has $50 on there, and I already spent it all. I spent $15.22 of it on ammo for this range test, and then I think the rest I spent on 1 week of groceries, and then I also bought a new forearm gripper because my old one is broken. It doesn't work anymore. So I bought this one, which is a little bit heavier, about 60 pounds is where it's minimum to maximum. So that's what I did with the CZ rebate money. So the range that I went to is very close to where I live, maybe like 7 or 8 blocks, hardly worth a drive, but I drove down there anyways. I set up a time for an hour. I thought that was their lowest availability. It might actually be 30 minutes. I have to check about that next time we do another range video if it's requested. It ended up costing me $33. Two of those dollars was for one of their targets. Now for this test, I had bought two 50-round boxes of ammunition. The first is a Blazer 115 grain 9mm Blazer. It's the aluminum case, not the brass case, so it's a little bit cheaper. And then the other one, 50 rounds I shot through the gun, was Federal American Eagle, also 115 grain 9mm. Now you're going to see that Federal American Eagle show up a lot in future range videos, and that's because my SIG 938, P938, it actually likes Federal American Eagle Federal 115, and since this gun is non-adjustable, and I do carry this gun the most because it's so tiny. It's so tiny, it's like, how can you not take it with you all the time? That's kind of the ammo that I selected as the standardized ammo. So all of my 9mm that are adjustable, that's just fine. I can just change it to hit where it needs to hit. But for something like this, which does get carried the most, the sights are not adjustable. Or maybe they are, but it's like barely. So I just selected that box, Federal American Eagle. You're gonna see that a lot in future range videos. And then as far as like the Blazer, I just like to choose kind of the cheapest, kind of the dirtiest ammo, just to see, you know, if it will be a problem to the firearm. That doesn't mean that the gun is bad. It just means like, here's a worst case situation, worst case scenario. How well is the gun gonna do? Now, as far as the divvying up of the rounds, there's 50 rounds per box, and there were 3 things I wanted to test. So the first is going to be single action only shots. Second is double action only shots, and then the third is single action double action single action shots. So I saw this from Paul Harrell where he talks about, you know, after a double action gun is decocked, you take your double action shot and then you follow up with a single action shot. And so I wanted to do kind of those 3. I guess those 3 mechanisms. Now with 50 rounds on box, divvying that up, I chose, okay, we can do, because the CZ holds 15 rounds in a magazine. So I was like, all right, we'll do 15, 15, and 20. Just because the DA-SA shot's pretty important and the most realistic for self-defense. So I put 5 more rounds on that. Now, of course, with that number, magazine-wise, because it only carries 15, we are going to end up with 5 extra shots of both the Blazer and the Federal. And so what I did there was I just took another 5 more single action shots just to help verify point of impact. Now the distances at my range are set up in yards. It's all yards, and if you don't know, yards is 3 times that of feet. So 7 yards is 21 feet. Now as for the target, I was going to kind of divide it into quadrants, and I ended up picking one which had a lot of nice targets all in one. And so what I basically ended up doing was that this guy from top to bottom, from these 6, it's going to be the SAO Blazer, SAO American Eagle, and then DAO Blazer, DAO American Eagle, and then DASA Blazer, DASA American Eagle. Now you'll see with the first target, which is the number 2, that's the one that's going to get the first 15 shots of Blazer aluminum case 115 grain. As you can see, very good. Those were single action shots, of course, but they were very close, very clustered, maybe off a little bit to the left, maybe off a little bit low, but I would say that's absolutely acceptable for self-defense range. Now with the number 6 we have here, this would have been the American Eagle 115 grain single action shots, and as you can see, it's not as tight, not as clustered as the number 2 or the Blazer, but I would still say that's perfectly acceptable for self-defense. Now number 5, this is going to be double action only shots. This was the Blazer. Again, we're kind of seeing that general area of that low left, a little off low left. Number 4, this is the American Eagle in double action. I'd say maybe a little bit more spread out, certainly not as tight as the Blazer, but those are generally 15 shots within there somewhere. Now the number 3, this is where we're getting into that drill that Paul Harrell talked about, taking a double action shot from decock position and then taking a single action shot soon after. So number 3 is going to be the Blazer, and that I would say is pretty good. It's just a little bit less accurate than number 6, which was the SAO shots in American Eagle. So for that to be DA to SA, that's actually really good in my opinion. Now number 1, this is going to be American Eagle in double action followed by single action. Again, it's quite off. I'd say it's about the same as the number 4, which would have been the double action only shots in the Federal American Eagle. Now overall, general experience with shooting, I would say that it was pretty good. The decocking lever worked out just fine. There was no issues anytime I used it for the double action only shots or the DA to SA. The decocker posed no problem at all. As far as malfunctions, there was absolutely none. So that's pretty good, because you'll see here by this picture that the Blazer ammunition, because I've never seen something like that with my Federal American Eagles, is incredibly dirty. It's incredibly dirty, and I think that's, well, I mean, it's telling about the ammunition, but it's also telling that, it wasn't enough to give any problems to the CZ P-07. Now I have to apologize for the double action shots. Even though I hadn't shot in months, it really shows. It's not so much the double action trigger weight, because I've been practicing double action trigger for months. You know what I mean? So I was pretty confident that my trigger pull was good, but there is a psychological aspect. When you've been away from shooting guns, it is technically a mini explosion, right? And you really just, you can't help but not be scared of it, you know what I mean? So I had to apologize. I think the double action shots could have been a lot better. Granted, I don't know about, doing this every week. I would like to, but that $33 charge every week is quite expensive. Unless I'm thinking, if the range actually had an option which it was 30 minutes and it would, I mean, I guess the point of practice is time, but still, you know, over time I can see, hopefully, the strength of my fingers, because I do double action trigger pulls every day. I really do. And so I'm a little bit perturbed, I guess, that it didn't really show here. But I really think it's just that psychological effect of getting used to a mini explosion in your hand, you know. So that, and also I have to admit something else. I actually went to the gym. I went to the gym the same day that I went to the range, and the reason why is because I can only train once a week. I used to train every day, but I can't because I have school, which is 8 credits. 8 credits of school, which is, that's not full-time. I think full-time college is 13 credits, but still a little over half time for college. And then I also still work my 40-hour job, and then I still make YouTube videos. So I think, even though I skipped grip training on my gym day, I went all out. I went hard on the lats and the biceps, and I still feel it right now. So hopefully next time if I do a range video, I will probably consider skipping the gym, and then hopefully my double action shots will be better. But yeah, I have nothing bad to say. I'm very impressed that the CZ went through just fine. The hella dirty ass ammo didn't really pose a problem to it. It ran pretty flawlessly. There was nothing, you know. I didn't feel any underpowered rounds. There was, you know, it was pretty good. Now, of course, with the CZ shooting a little bit off target than I would like, I can't say that it would be a, you know, a pretty common. I wouldn't say it'd be in my self-defense carry rotation, just because the most likely smallest 9mm I'm going to carry is the SIG 938, and I know it likes a Federal American Eagle. So if a gun that I assume you can probably drift the sights a little bit, I don't know if it's worth it, you know. Like I just don't know. I don't like to mess with things. I like to leave them the way they are, and if it works, that's perfect. That's great. That's what I want. So I hope this video was helpful to you, useful to you. You guys can request anything. You know, you can request any subject. You can request a range test of any gun that I have or you've seen me show. Just know that I will try to get it done within the week if it's an easy project. If it's a long project that you ask for, well, okay, let me put it this way. If you ask for something and it can be done pretty quickly, then it will be in addition to the Saturday scheduled video, not in place of. Now, if you request something and I do it, but it's a long project, then it will take the place of the Saturday scheduled video just because of the scope of the project depending on what you're requesting. Yes, you guys can request videos if you like. Subscribers and viewers, although I'd say you probably have a better chance if you're a subscriber. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
You learned martial arts! Martial arts, good!